Hello, everyone. Hi, welcome. I'm glad everyone got the memo about the move of our date. Well, all you people, you guys are on top of it. We might have some other friends that are missing out, but so glad that each of you guys are here. And I know we had to move it because last week a lot of us were traveling to Pantheon. So that's what we're going to spend today's topic a little bit about is just kind of recapping things that we learned, things that we're excited to implement. And so even if you weren't at Pantheon, we think this can be a really great conversation of some key takeaways and benefiting from other people being there, and how you can tap into the resources that they learned and things like that, because that's what this community is about, is how can we help each other and grow along. And so I'm curious, maybe just let us know down in the chat who was there at Pantheon. I was there. I got to see Lauren and hug her neck. I see Sarah's on here. I got to see Sarah. Krista was not at Pantheon because she had a 1 week old, and so that's acceptable. We would give her that pass. But who else? Randy was there. Yes, Randy, got to see you at the party. So exciting. I see Vicky hopping on here. I know Vicky was there. Was anyone else there at Pantheon? Maybe I should ask this a different way. Who had FOMO from not being there at Pantheon? That might get some different. Andrea said her coworkers were there, but not I. Holly had some FOMO. Miranda had FOMO. Yes. Lauren, FOMO. It was sadly Dawn. Yes. Missed it. So yes, there was a lot of great things happening. Sad that you guys missed it, but definitely keep us, hope to see you next year. So, um, let's just kind of get started. What was a key takeaway? What was some of the best things that someone who was there, what are you excited to implement into your company? How about we start a little bit easier? Who had fun at the party? Did we have any fun at the Paint the Town Red party? Randy's raising her hand. Yes. No, I thought we had a great attendance there. It was fantastic being able to be on site versus last year where we were off site. And I was showing my husband pictures. He's like, "Why is there so many men there?" And I was like, "Because we were having a good time. We had the party happening there from all the block parties." And so it was great seeing everyone there. We had tons of fun little activities and events. We had the Sunny's Bar that was sponsored by Service Nation. They're a great best practice group. We had Zyra Talk there. They had a bead bar. Everyone was loving making all your own bead bracelets and things like that. Home Service Freedom was there giving out t-shirts. And so we printed over 300 t-shirts and those shirts were gone. So I know we had at least 300 people in attendance, and I think we had some more and stuff. So it was definitely a great party. So it's so good to see all of you guys there. But that's just fun and frivolous and things like that. Not frivolous, but let's get down to the meat of things. What was some key takeaways, what someone learned? I feel like AI was kind of a very common theme from a lot of vendors to a lot of topics and things like that. And that is definitely something that, is here in our world. And we got to be figuring out like, okay, it's not going away. How do we embrace it? So, did anyone learn anything new or something that they're excited to dive into, learn about, implement?
I have a whole list, but I'm really excited about the routing, the AI routing. Looking forward to that. Atlas blew my mind. The fuel card integration with Fleet Pro can be amazing. The voice agents for everybody, amazing. I have a list. We had a meeting with our CSM before this, and I'm like, I need more information on this, and this.
Yes. So talk a little bit more about Atlas. So if you weren't there, like explain a little bit how Atlas is going to work or what you know about it. I know there's probably more to come and stuff, but what has you most excited?
Uh, Personally, I think AI is kind of scary because it's going to take over the world. But I know that we need it and it helps to understand it a little bit more. But was I guess it was Vahe was saying that Atlas is like in baby stages right now, but when he's an adult, it's gonna be crazy. Like we're gonna be stupider, more stupid um for having it. But um
When Atlas grows up. Yes.
yeah, I mean, but it's gonna touch everything. It
Mhm.
I put one of my field service supervisors on the new app today and showed him how to use the Titan Intelligence for or Atlas, I guess, for the invoice summary, since it's available on the technician side now. And he was like going around showing it to everybody. Look at my invoice summary. Look how smart I sound.
Well, that's great. No, that's good. And it helps a ton when your team is bought in and they're excited about it. And I know several people that I talked to, they're like, I just was bringing my team to Pantheon just to get their buy-in and get them excited about. Because when you are excited about something, that's when you can really help to actually implement and things like that. So that's great. Tell us about the fuel cards a little bit more.
I don't know a lot about it. They just touched on it, but there's going to be a fuel card integration within Fleet Pro. So we use com data and their reporting is awful. And so if we can integrate that in and I can pull Service Titan reports, which are not awful, to tell me, when people are getting gas, how much they're getting, if they're getting it during business hours, blah, 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 blah. From one location, it'll be fantastic.
Yeah. No, very exciting. All these new things coming up, and Sarah makes a great point down in the chat. I think you'll be more intelligent because it will spark curiosity and push you towards faster action. Yeah. So when you're doing this deep dive and looking for yourself and stuff, and being curious, being looking to learn more, it does help you integrate and implement it so much faster. So great point, Sarah. Um, Marissa is asking, Randy, I was told that the new mobile app doesn't allow text to review and approve their time cards. Have you noticed that? Randy says she thinks it's still coming, and so is the content portal. So yeah, things still to be coming up. All right. Well, thanks for sharing that, Randy. Good stuff. Glad that you're excited about it and your team's excited about it. We can't wait to hear more as you learn more and as you get it implemented. So, who else? Who had another great takeaway?
I'll go.
Hi,
I was
Jackie.
meeting so many of you face to face. Hi, this is Jackie Kingsley. I'm with ESP and Mac Data, and so many of these I am completely transparent that I'm eating my lunch and I'm on mute, and sometimes I'll ask questions on the side. But gosh, it was so nice to meet so many ladies with Lady Titans, as well as some gentlemen too. Party was fantastic. It's just really great to put like human interaction to who has been speaking the past couple months that I've been a part of Lady Titans, and just learning so much about who's there and what are you doing, like what is your other job that you're doing besides having a role on Lady Titans. So it was just so lovely. As much as I could say I wish Pantheon lasted longer, those couple days were just whoo, but all good stuff. I'm over on the East Coast, so jet lag, kids getting through with strep throat and everything else right before. But if I did not meet a lot of you individually, I really look forward to meeting you at upcoming meetings. And Emily, I'll promise to kind of turn my camera on a little more.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I
And you were
love
great
y'all's
to see
faces.
that party, by the way, Emily.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Glad you could come. And to
Yeah.
Jackie's point, I do love when I can see y'all's faces. It's not like me looking at a bunch of black screens. I know it's not an option for everyone, but no, that's a great point about Pantheon and going to some of these shows. Is sometimes also like the other vendor partner relationship. So like I was excited to meet Jackie and talk with her about how her company can do some things for my company, Lemon Seed. And so I'm very excited to get to know more about Mac Data and how we might can implement some of those things. So a lot of those vendor partnerships is something not to sleep on. So even if you're another vendor in here or you're a contractor meeting those vendors, that's another tremendous point that I think all we don't talk about as often as some of the breakout sessions and stuff. But lots of great connections to be there. Vicky, you're saying Orlando, here we come. Are you just wishful hoping that, or do you know something we don't know? Have they announced anything?
So they
They announced
announced at the end of the party, no, not the party, the last keynote that Pantheon next year is October 5th to the 7th, 2026 in Orlando, Florida.
it.
Woohoo!
Okay. Is it back at the same hotel?
No. So it's
Oh.
at Disney World, the Swan and the Dolphin Resort. So that's even more exciting.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that insight. I missed that announcement. Um, okay, Lauren, key takeaways was implementing hot girl walks like Keith Mercurio. Oh, okay. You might have to give us an example of that.
It's literally just a walk. He said that it's one of those simple, all right, Jess, enough. He said I think it's one of those really stereotypical pieces of advice that people give you, like just drink more water and just take a walk. But I feel like it's just time to do it. And if Keith can do it, I can do it. So,
Kind of like Grey's Anatomy, her power pose, and just when you do it, it does just make you feel better. So
yep.
you can conquer the world. Miranda said she tried to listen to the live stream on Friday, but it wasn't working. So bummed that she missed Keith's keynote. Yes, for sure. He's always fantastic. And we do know Lauren greatly is fangirling him in everything he does. We know that for sure. But he's worth fangirling over. Yes, Keith is one of your favorites, Holly, for sure. Oh, Heather, add a weighted vest. It's gonna be a game changer for your hot girl walk. It's also awesome Spotify playlist specifically for hot girl walks. Oh, good to know. Y'all teach me all kinds of pop culture things I didn't know about. Um, all right. Well, great, good stuff here. What else? What's something else that someone learned or took away or was excited to experience and do at Pantheon? Oh, Renee, you had a random girl come up to your next to you, so you cried together. Her name was Mindy, wherever she is. Oh,
That was
was that?
during the Keith's keynote. I'm sure most of you that watched it probably also had some type of teariness or teary-eyed or straight boo-hooing coming from him. Yeah, still crying. Exactly. But yeah, she started tearing up next to me. I looked at her and then I started tearing up and so we're like, like holding on to each other. It was and then after that, back to laughter, because that's what Keith can do is do one of these while he's doing his keynote. Why I came off mute, I wanted to share one of the things that I learned, which I'm kind of excited about. I feel like I have a pretty, and I know a lot of faces in here have a pretty good understanding of Service Titan and the buttons to push. So I usually go with the mindset of one, looking at an area of my business that I feel like has the biggest opportunity and trying to look at people that are doing it way better than I am and learning from them. So I did a lot of, I think most of the breakouts I did were more on strategy. And one of the strategies sessions that I went to was how to get your team to buy into Field Pro. So to Randy's point was finding that like early adopter, I think is the fancy word, of getting them on board and get the buy-in and be able to be like, oh, look how cool this is. And one thing that they said that really resonated that I never really thought of was they asked for hands raised in the room of how many of you record your CSR's phone calls, and like obviously everybody's hand go up, and they were like, how many of you use those to coach your CSRs, and like, you know, majority of the hands went up. They're like, why aren't we doing that for technicians? And I'm like, it was just like a light bulb moment. Like no one's ever questioned a CSR's phone call being recorded. It just kind of was. And if you ask the technicians, they're probably listening to their phone calls too. And not only for like a what could you do better, but also just like a CYA of like that never happened or that never was said. And in the world we live in, that can be very scary and people can try to, you know, switch things around that didn't actually happen. I feel like it's going to be a necessary evil as the world goes on. So that was one thing, is like more of like getting my own buy-in of why I need to use AI and why I need to use these things for my team and listening to the people that are doing it way better than I am.
No, that's great. Yeah, and even beyond just a CYA tactic, but using it for training and how to improve and, have better accountability and things like that. So yeah, great point. Vicky says she met with her pro specialist for Field Pro right before this meeting. So Vicky, y'all gonna be implementing some good things, changing some things, maximizing it. Yep.
Yeah, so I learned, I was late to the party about Sales Pro converting to Field Pro. I didn't even know that that was a thing. So I just had my pro product specialist transition me from my Sales Pro app to my Field Pro app, so I can get everything. And we get to use Atlas with Field Pro and not Sales Pro, so I'm super excited about it.
That'll be great stuff. Yeah, and then Sarah brings up a great point about the technician recording. Safety and security is incredibly important as well. Yeah, so lots of benefits from lots of different facets there of new things to come. And so I think it is great that Service Titan is so forward thinking and very innovative and keeping up with the times for lots of different facets. So exciting. Well, good. Thanks for sharing. Oh,
I've got a
go.
couple other things that are just high level that I think it was at the keynote that I talked about it, being able to send and receive emails right inside of Service Titan. is, I think, going to be huge, because that's definitely a missing piece. Some of my team like copy and paste conversations into the chat just so we know it happened. So being able to have the text, the phone call, the email all go out through ServiceTitan, I think is going to be huge. And then task management is getting a major upgrade. So there's a lot of things that I don't use task management before because of how cumbersome it is on filling out everything. So now they're coming out with templates. So if you have, if your task is a refund, then you can automatically say refund, it goes to this person, and it'll fill everything in, and you just have to update any notes that you may need. And then they use like permits where you can have different processes. So I think that's going to be a big one too. Miss all, oh yeah, Jess. um And yeah, so they're gonna have smart task templates that are now gonna, you can just make a bunch of templates for everything. And then they had a big revamp on the dispatch board, and that's been a weakness of ours, especially on routing. So map 2.0 is getting a full upgrade, and you're actually going to see the routes and will be able to drag and drop to kind of move things around, especially if you're not using something like Dispatch Pro. And it's also going to do the smart automated route, and then the whole dispatch board is going to have a whole different look. You'll be able to see a horizontal view like we do now, or you can do a vertical view. They'll have a daily board, a weekly board, I think a monthly board as well. And they're making it mobile friendly, which is huge, because if anyone's tried to look at the dispatch board on ServiceTitan on their phone to try to help a tech after hours, it is like the bane of my existence. So to be able to actually be able to click the buttons on the dispatch board is going to be amazing. Yes, Holly, I am so excited for that, because it is like herding cats. You push it and then it doesn't quite pop up, but then something else will pop up and you're sitting there just like, oh, I just need this one quick question, but I don't have my computer in front of me. So yeah, the scrolling's awful as well.
Well, they heard you and they understood the assignment.
Yes, they like check, big old checkbox. And the last one I'm going to say, again, probably, I know Randy said she had a list too. I'm sure most of us that went had a list, is for on the financing side, being able to collect a deposit on an estimate and not have it live on the customer page where you have to go find it or know about it. Now, when they take a prepayment, it's going to live on the estimate. And when you sell that estimate, it's going to move over with the job. So that is like music to my ears. And I think that comes out fall release is what I wrote down. So I'm really hoping that's true, because that should come out in like the next couple weeks. So those are some of my top ones on like product specific stuff.
It's fantastic. It's exciting.
It really is. They
And
always
from
have to save the best stuff for Pantheon, instead of just giving us a sneak peek, they're like, we have to really like hold all that back and then give you like the big wow to really get you excited when you come home from Pantheon.
well, right in front of our lemon seed booth, they had like the big printout panel of like the new field route and how it's going to position the drag and drop and things like that. So it looked very cool and stuff. So good job. Okay, Jess, I wish it would stay in my deposit account on my complete balance sheet until the job is complete.
I'm just complaining about Renee's excitement being not 100% awesome yet. Renee's thing is better than it was, but not where it needs to be.
Different ways of doing it. So, all right. Well, good stuff. Thanks for sharing all that, Renee. What else? What's another takeaway or something that someone is excited about?
I have a bunch of notes from one of my classes. I haven't had a chance to like really kind of dissect it, but I took a class that was titled Champion Women in Leadership, and I really enjoyed that class. And like a few of the notes that I took is just say what you mean what you say, lead authentically, champion women, don't belittle how much you don't know. It says, some of my notes say, understand how to take a no of today and create a yes of tomorrow. So flip the script. One thing that I really wanted to dive deeper into is the speaker talked about like coming up with your identity statement, and once you do that, it will help you lead authentically and understand yourself and know yourself. And so I really liked that. And I was like, you know what? I felt encouraged that I need to come up with my own identity statement. And how you do that, I don't know. But I really liked that. And then a part of the conversation really focused on like, as women, especially in leadership, like we have to set the stage for the other women. And like an example, one of the speakers uses like she was a new mother and needed to breastfeed, and so she well, for starters, hid her pregnancy up until the very end, and then was hiding away in a closet because she needed to pump. And then when other women started having children, they were doing the same thing, like, didn't really have a good example of, you should be comfortable coming forward with your pregnancy. You should, not just hide away in a closet, and you should have all the resources you need as a woman. And so really it was just lead by example, and you have to do that as a woman in the industry. And so I really enjoyed that class, and that was like my first one, and so it really inspired me. So
Was that the one on the first day? The woman?
no, it was on the second day.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, the second day. And it was like, I think at 9:20.
Okay. No, that's all great stuff. Great quotes to write down. And Lauren is promoting Keith's keynote again because he had a section about how to create your own identity statement. So if only we could get that recording. But no, that's great. Thanks for sharing that, Marissa.
Yeah, no problem.
I also heard great things about the women's networking thing on day one, kind of after the kickoff party, before the block parties. Did anyone get to go to that? Yeah. Just what were some takeaways you had from there?
I met some great women there. Now I want to look at the list and see if they're here. I met Nikki and I met Andrea. They're very nice ladies and they're new to our group.
Welcome.
It was all about connection, right? That's what we're here for. Renee went to that too.
I did, and I did get to meet a couple people. I feel like that was the first meetup of the whole Pantheon event, and it on the event thing where it was just said meetup, like community meetup spot, and it was very confusing as to like where it was. So I feel like there wasn't as many people that signed up for it that actually should have been there, because they said it sold out and it was like empty in there when there's only a handful of women. So I feel like luckily I got to talk to like, only a few people and have good conversation, long conversation, and not be too overcrowded. But definitely think there was a missed opportunity on what that could have turned into. So hopefully that gets fixed up next year. New spot, so maybe new venue will be different.
Yeah. All right, good stuff. Anyone else? Something you learned? A takeaway? Something you're excited to implement? Sarah, I keep seeing your hand like you're going to say something, but I'm sure you had so many things. What was your best part? What do you think was the best?
Sorry, I'm like playing with my computer and doing this on my phone, so my apologies. My hands are everywhere. Like I work at ServiceTitan, so I know the AI behind it. I know that it's kind of like, oh my gosh, this is a hype, but I'm so sick of hearing AI. And I totally get it, but it is here. And my takeaway and what I've learned and to a bunch of contractors is that we need to lean in and figure this out together as a community. And so if any of you guys are in the marketing pro group, I'm going to be pushing us forward with marketing and AI as much as possible, not just with marketing pro, but just marketing in general, to really help the trade grow our business. But, if I can tell you one thing, it's remove the fear, and really ask yourself those hard questions of like, hey, if I don't want to adopt, like, what is the fear there? And if it's about like replacing your job or replacing your role, that's not going to happen. It's about evolving. And so that's where I would focus.
Thanks for sharing that. And great points. And I think some of it is just just getting started, and just starting to play with it and embrace it. And again, how can you grow and develop the role? I remember one of the best examples I heard, and it's still stuck with me when AI was just first starting to come out a couple years ago. Is there was a lot of speculation when the calculator came out, and like, oh, people aren't going to know how to do math anymore, and like what a disservice we're doing to our kids and things like that. But in reality, it's like, how much better math are we able to do because of the calculator? And we're sending people to the moon now, where that wasn't an option 100 years ago, and things like that. So when you can embrace the tools, I think it empowers the human power and the human knowledge to do so much more by using the tool. And so, great point, Sarah, of not being scared with it, but how can we adapt it to the role that we have, and make it better so that we can do more and stuff. So great point. Good reminder.
I had a question for everyone that was there. So obviously they talked about Atlas a couple times. Is that going to be a core product, or is that a paid feature that you have to add on? Does anybody know? They didn't say yes or no.
We asked our success manager and he couldn't answer that question either.
So there will be parts that will be in, and then there will be parts that will be paid. It depends on what it's going to be doing for you, right? Because like say we're still figuring it out as we go, but that's just, we want you to have the AI as much as possible.
Like the one thing they talked about was having Atlas in the new Field app as the tech sidekick. So is that going to be a part of the core? Do you remember?
I think it's part of the core. I think it's part of Field Pro.
Okay.
So I just met with my PPS, and so that's going to be part of so there's going to be two different seats. It's going to be Field Pro Standard or Field Pro Advanced. So it's going to be part of your Field Pro Advanced, which is a little bit more. So it's like Pro Plus.
So it's not, if I don't sign up for Field Pro, the new app won't have Atlas on it.
No. The mobile Field app and the Field Pro app are separate. So right. So the Field Pro capability to use Atlas is only if you are signed up for Field Pro.
So what I saw in the keynote was in the actual Field mobile app. They were like, this is going to be your tech sidekick, where they can ask like, when was the last time we were out here? And it can look through the history and tell you the last time it was out here. Outside of like a coaching, like looking at opportunities. But
So
that was what I took a picture of it too.
That's part of core.
That's part of core.
Yeah.
So like actually the ChatGPT of ServiceTitan, aka Atlas, is going to be in the Field mobile app, but the coaching side is obviously a part of Field Pro.
Yep, exactly.
Gotcha.
I don't remember where I heard it, but the like equipment manuals, I think, is part of Field Pro. It's not core, but the enhance the summary is core, and the field assist, because those are both live already.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's next on the list, is get the Field mobile app going. But thank you for Sarah, Randy, Vicky, probably made that.
Good questions. All right, what else? Ooh, the blue on part of being able to scan equipment as part of Atlas and Field Pro Advanced. Oh, yes. Vicky, do y'all utilize blue on? No? Okay. Does anyone utilize blue on? Renee? Yeah? Is that helpful to you guys?
We just onboarded at Airworks, and so far so good.
It's good as long as you really get your techs to use it. So at the beginning, it was, I think, more forgetfulness than anything that it was even an option. So whoever your field supervisor or that person that like fields those technical calls, when they call in, they have to like first be this response of, have you tried Blue On yet? Like, have you looked there? Have you looked through the manuals and all that fun stuff, versus just giving them the answer. So once we started doing that, we saw a bigger uptick of actually using it and utilizing it.
Cool. All right. I'm reading through the chat here. Yeah, get the impression mostly paid. Seems futuristic. Yep. Okay. Good stuff. What else? What else, ladies?
So who went to Disneyland before? Because I've heard a lot of people going or skipping out early on Friday, and I had FOMO.
I
Just
spent
how was
all
it?
day there on Tuesday, like rope drop to 9:30 p.m. and it was amazing. If you only have one day, I highly recommend Disneyland over Disney World.
Yeah, Angela said she went. I think Randy went to Disney. I saw some others. Yeah, y'all were able to put together a little Lady Titans group and do some fun things. Um, yeah, so fun. And then I know some people on here are like little swag bandits. Like, give me all the swag. Jess comes prepared. She brings extra suitcases. Anyone
I got a
else?
hard hat.
A hard hat? Was that your favorite swag item? What was your favorite swag item?
I think it was my favorite. Oh, the Carhartt hoodie might have been my favorite, but I don't know if it counts because it's a paid item.
Randy, I think I saw you with a swag haul.
Yeah, I got 3 digital frames.
Now that was pretty impressive. Have you like plugged them in? Are they good?
I have not yet, but
plugged-
I just opened my swag suitcase yesterday because my daughter came over and I was like, "Hey, do you need any of this?" So I shared.
I plugged the frame in. It's pretty cool because you can have your friends or family join and they can send you pictures on it. And so I posted the information out to my family already and they've already sent over pictures of like my niece and them. So it's pretty cool.
So fun.
I have a question. They announced that there is now going to be a tip collection that is added into the Field Mobile app. I'm curious what everyone's thoughts are, or are you going to implement it? Are you going to keep it off? All the fun stuff.
Question. What are y'all leaning towards, Renee?
I don't know. I haven't really brought it up to anybody. I know my guys get tipped, and sometimes it's cash, sometimes it's things. They'll like tell me stories about, yeah, my customer's getting rid of this. Now they have like motorcycles and all kinds of stuff. I don't know what goes on over there anymore, but yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle. Like, I think the example that was given was like you go to what was the example that was given? Like everywhere you go, that little pop-up always comes up, like the tip thing. But I don't want it to give a bad perception to the customer either. But does it make it easier for the customer that wants to tip their tech but doesn't have cash on them? Because I'm also someone who very rarely carries cash.
I know
So
personally, I get really annoyed when I go to a business that that is not a traditionally tipped business and it asks for a tip, right? And our technicians make a lot of money. Many of them get performance pay for upselling these customers. And I think asking for a tip on top of that is silly and I don't like it. I'm not doing it.
I would say I had a similar experience. We went to a cigar lounge the first night we were there and stuff, and like that is not tradition to ask for a tip. And the one we went to, it did ask for a tip, and so it did put like a little bad taste in your mouth. So like it can be if you've had such a great experience, and now like, I just spent 10, 15 grand on a new system or something. And now we're asking for a tip, or it can feel a little off-putting and could possibly put a bad taste in what could have been an overall great experience. You're ending it with a little sour note. It could be one way to think of it. And I think that's a great point that you make, Jessica. Like you guys intentionally like take care of your technicians where they make great money. Um, I think probably some technicians would probably argue like, of course you need to turn on that tip, like I need it and stuff. But it's an interesting conversation. I know it could be argued either way. Courtney says their techs get random things as tips. But when we are asked by customers if they can add a tip to their check or CC tip, we very clearly say that we do not facilitate tipping. Yeah.
You get into a gray area on taxes and W-2s and stuff too when you start doing that. Because you're supposed to report all their tips on their W-2. It's easier to look the other way if the customer hands them cash.
For sure. All right. Anyone else?
Randy, what else is on your list?
Conduit. My sales team is excited because apparently whatever they're using for their load calc application isn't working well. And so I'm setting up a demo with that. The commercial and construction, the new CRM is going to be amazing.
It's funny, I recently actually posted, I think in LadyTitans and also in Masterminds, I was like, what are you guys using for load calc? And somebody told me Conduit, and I was like, oh, I'll look into that one. And then 2 days later, I go to Pantheon, and they're like, now integrated with ServiceTitan. I'm like, well, that's cool. Or did they acquire them, or did they
I think that they acquired them.
acquire them? I feel like that's what it was too.
The Jessica said to elaborate on the CRM. It's going to be, I don't know, they were kind of vague on a few of the things, but it's going to house, it's going to be a dashboard that houses like the whole progression of a project. So if you can put it in as a bid, you don't have to set up a new customer. If you don't have the customer or the location yet, you can put like pieces of information in there to capture it and be able to track it through the process. And everybody can see it, which would be amazing because we currently quote all of our new construction outside of ServiceTitan, don't bring it in until it's sold. And so you don't know what's in limbo. So hopefully getting it all in one place would be amazing. The three-way match on the accounts payable is also going to be really cool.
I have that on. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it works like it's supposed to.
Yes.
What is it?
So it's a three-way match between purchase order, receipt, and bill. And you can set settings. So it'll alert you to discrepancies between the three documents. And you can set settings. So if you don't care if it's less than a 5% discrepancy, it won't alert. But it's a quick way to see, hey, my payables clerk entered a bill, but the purchase order was for $1,000 more or $1,000 less, or yeah.
Gotcha. I did see, I think similar to project planning, Randy, they're also doing that for the financial dashboard now. So now there's going to be a financing dashboard that has all of your applied financing, if they're pending, if they're completed, or when they're charged, and when you get paid.
So that's already in my account. So you might look at yours. Because I saw it yesterday and was like, what is this application management beta? I didn't sign up for this.
Let's see. And I think they said it was in accounting, right?
Yes.
Do not see it.
Oh, so I have accounting, and then I have financing, and then I have dashboard, and then the next one under dashboard is application management.
I do. I clicked the accounting tab instead of hovered. It is in a beta. I see it. Well, that's just fun news. Thanks for that. Wow. Makes me happy. We use tags right now to like make sure things are like actually like when they're approved and then authorized and then actually charged. So this is going to be awesome. Heather said, what are you excited about? If you hover over accounting on your ServiceTitan, you'll see at the bottom under the financing section, application management, and it is already active in your account. And they talked about it at Pantheon. Oh, sorry. Can you guys hear my pop-up ball? Krista just commented on it. It's like fidget spinner. Need to put it down during my meetings. Krista, is that baby there? Do we need to see her? I saw some head nods. Marissa, what do you mean by the codes and types?
So I took a class that, I'm pulling my notes back up, that was all about unlocking project efficiency. And when we first got onto Service Titan, we basically had to create like labels that was for our commercial side of the business. So for underground, top out, finish, and we had to really like manipulate the system to do what we wanted for job costing. And so they basically said that labels are going away, but they replaced them with cost codes and types. And they showed that now like we could drill down to like, okay, we can have all the phases, but then we can separate it by material or by, permit. So they're going to allow more customization for our job costing. So I thought that was really cool. And then also they mentioned that the software is going to be kind of similar to Procore, where we're going to be able to do change orders in there, submittals, which I don't know about you guys, but like our coordinators, they're still creating like paper submittal books where they have to like tab out every piece of material. It's a lot of work. And so it sounds like now it's going to be fully integrated to do it digitally and have the techs access that in the field on the app, which is super cool. And then the project planning feature, which I don't show is turned on yet for us, but basically like the project managers can now go in there and say, okay, we need to finish underground within 1 month. And then the project plan dashboard is going to show pretty much like if we're on track or if we're not on track. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I think I saw somebody else mention mention it too. Holly said, yeah, so frustrating.
Marissa,
Sounds like
Marissa, did you get the commercial activation guide in an email today?
Yeah, I actually I'm already on it. I'm already like gonna be looking all over it. So
Within that email, you can sign up for all the early accesses for all of those things.
oh, good to know. Yeah, I printed it, but it's kind of thick, so I haven't looked at it yet.
oh,
Maybe
some people
Brandy,
didn't
just send it to me and we can send it in the follow-up email.
Okay, that'll work.
Krista, you've got your hand up.
Okay,
Because she wants to show us a baby.
y'all ready to see this little munchkin?
She's so chunky, I love it.
Okay, hang on. How do I flip the camera around here?
Yeah, I want to know if you want to tell your story.
Oh, I will gladly share my story.
Oh, you guys have to learn.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. She's so precious.
there's a little munchkin.
Oh, hi, sweet girl. All right, Krista, share your story with everybody
Okay.
of how
Krista is Superwoman.
Elizabeth came to be.
Start with
It
how
was-
late you were.
So, yeah, I went past due 41 weeks, 5 days. And little miss never made it to the hospital. We attempted to drive to the hospital and my husband caught her on the side of the interstate. So we did not make it. EMS promptly arrived within about 5 minutes, thankfully, to give us some assist with clearing airways, although she was pretty much clear before they got there. Thankfully, my husband We had taken infant CPR a couple years ago with having two other little kids. So he sprung into action and tipped her upside down and promoted her to scream and clear airways. But yeah, EMS arrived and they were able to render aid and then transport little Miss and I to the hospital. And yeah.
And Daddy was parking the car, right?
Oh.
Daddy was gonna go.
Full
Sorry.
squad over there.
I
Yeah.
love it.
The other two are very much active in understanding what happened. It was definitely a story to tell.
Well, I'm glad you both are healthy and happy, and she's absolutely gorgeous.
Well, thank you. We are blessed.
And we missed you
Waiting to
at
rub her
Pantheon.
eyes again.
Well, I missed all of y'all as well.
But you were there. I don't know if everyone saw the video, but Krista was on the big screen. So even though she wasn't physically there, she really was. She will never not have a place at Pantheon.
Yeah, I just wish I could have seen it in person. It was so cool. The videos y'all shared with me.
Yeah. And if you didn't see Chris on the big screen, the reason she was on it was because she had the first ever fully automated AI driven call or job booked from start of a phone call all the way to completion, which is crazy.
Yes, I'm sure there's more now that Pantheon has completed, but we were one of two companies that first onboarded with all the pro products and was the first company to ever run a fully automated job. So it ran through 4 pro products without anyone from the office having any intervention with it. So virtual agent booked the job, Dispatch Pro routed the job for the best technician, Field Pro worked its magic with arrival and timesheets, and then Sales Pro, well, that is Field Pro now, did all of that. So yeah, pretty amazing.
Do you guys still consistently have jobs that are run like that, or is it kind of like yeah?
Yeah, Finn books about 5 to 6 calls a day.
Wow.
Depending on call inflow. So we have it set up to where with Contact Center Pro, it is an option for our customers to participate with utilizing Fin. So they're not forced to by any means, but they are prompted the offer to speak now and schedule a service or a maintenance call with our virtual agent or press 2 to speak to someone in our office.
Gotcha.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you heard from any of the customers that used it after the fact and what they thought?
Yeah, mostly on the negative side, of
Mhm.
course. That, escalate out of that call queue. But, I think that's just a generational thing. Everyone is implementing AI in all of their businesses. You call I just dealt with it with our pediatrician, it was an AI automation that, initially booked our first appointment. If I wanted to, there was an option to speak to someone at the office, but, I'm that type of person that I'm gonna lean into it and use AI when I can. Not everyone is like that. But for the most part of the ones that people booked that I did reach out to afterwards, they didn't mind it at all. They liked how efficient it was, how quick they were able to get on the phone and off the phone. And of course, things with Contact Center Pro with that will only begin to improve. Like right now, it doesn't talk about a membership plan like our normal call scripting does, but that will begin to improve as we're able to make changes with Contact Center Pro and how the virtual agent works. So there are definitely things that it's lacking, but all in all, I think it's really going to improve our business and efficiency.
Also, I don't know how many people heard or where exactly I heard it, but for the voice agents that are available outside of Contact Pro, there's a Pantheon special where your first 100 calls are free. And then I think that there's like a locked in Pantheon rate. My CSM is going to send me more info, so I don't have all the details, but if y'all are interested in that, you should reach out to your CSMs.
All right, who else has anything to share about Pantheon? Who will never miss another Pantheon because they have all the FOMO right now?
I'm curious, sorry, I should turn my video back on. I'm curious, what do people think about this Pantheon as opposed to the one last year that was in Orlando? I actually attended the one 2 years ago, so I'm just comparing 2 years apart. But what was the feedback? And I apologize, the question was already asked, but this one as opposed to the last one.
Personally, I preferred last year and the year before, but I think it's logistical stuff, not content related. I felt like the venue was better in Orlando, more convenient. The breakouts were, there was a lot of bottlenecking trying to get up and out of the main area into the breakout sessions area. And because they were so far away and so many people, I was late to a lot of them despite leaving with plenty of time otherwise. So that felt a little chaotic. And not that this is a reason to book or not book a venue, but I liked the food better in Orlando.
The food was seriously lacking this year.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, sorry.
Food trucks were pretty good, I thought.
Yeah, food trucks were great.
I didn't make it to the food trucks.
Yeah, the lines were too long for the food truck, so I didn't get any of that.
Selfishly, I also very much like it when it's on the East Coast.
I was gonna say that the content on the classes this year I liked way better. I personally was really disappointed last year because I felt like every single class that I took, it was a sales pitch. And I know even though like I read, you know, the snippet of what it was about, I honestly felt like I didn't get much out of last year in the workshops
I have
personally.
not. Sorry.
No. So this year I was like way more inspired. I've had way more value, but the food was not it, except the food trucks. So I agree.
I will say that they do a really careful job in the course descriptions to not be very clear that it's about a pro product. Because I went to the one about like AI in the field or something. I did not understand that it was just going to be a sales pitch for Field Pro the whole time.
Oh no.
Yes, Vicky, it is intentional for sure. Otherwise, no one would go because nobody wants to go to the salesy ones.
I will say with it next year, if it's at Swan and Dolphin Hotel, I've been there before. It does seem like it's all on one level there. So I personally wasn't able to attend a lot of the sessions, but you know, the multi-level and just looking up that escalator and filled with people, I would say that next year, just like how it was in Orlando prior, Orlando's more of a one level property, no matter what property they choose, it seems.
Oh, Marissa, I agree with you. Also, a little bit biased. I didn't love the musical guest, but I'm also not a country music fan. The only song I knew was Wonderwall.
Randy is horrified.
And I'm really excited because they won't do country 2 years in a row.
You'd like the Oasis song that the country band sang. And the Service Titan customer.
So yeah, next year it won't be country, so I'm looking forward to it. All right, any last takeaways? Everybody invigorated and ready to jump in and start using all the new stuff?
I'm ready to implement all of the things.
But only a couple things at a time. Don't try to do it all at once.
Three things at a time.
Felicity, it's at the Swan and Dolphin Resort at Walt Disney World. In October, not September, which is so much better. My kid had only been in school 2 weeks. I'm like, all right, bye.
And
I'm pretty sure it's
I'm pretty sure it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, which I don't know, for some reason feels better to me than Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
I think I agree with that.
I will never go to Disney before Pantheon again. I will always do it after.
Oh my God, 14 hours at Disneyland before 3 days of that was a mistake. Although I'm sure it was way less busy on Tuesday than Saturday at Disney.
Well,
True.
next year it'll be Thursday. So if we do after, it's Thursday, Friday.
Yes.
I might have to let my family fly down.
Nah, I'll leave mine at home.
I don't think I can do Disney 2 years in a row without them.
I want to go to the new Epic Park.
Oh, I want to do
Oh.
Epic real bad. I want to do Epic really bad.
LadyTitans trip to Epic.
Well, it'll be epic.
All right. Anybody else have anything to add? I'm so glad I got to see so many of you. You're welcome, Marissa. All right. Well, if nobody has anything else, we'll see you next month for the lounge on the second Wednesday and the Spotlight series on the third Tuesday. I'm not usually the host and I don't have to know those things off the top of my head.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.